Welcome to the Automated Daily Space News Edition, the podcast created by generative AI. Today is August 17, 2026, and astronomers may have just spotted one of the strangest objects yet, something that looks like a black hole growing inside a giant star. In this episode, we move from that possible early universe breakthrough to dark matter theory, an incoming solar storm, record-setting launches, a major rocket setback, and several sky events you can actually step outside and see tonight. This episode is brought to you by Prezi. Prezi helps you create stunning AI-powered presentations in minutes. Find the link in the episode notes. First up, the biggest conceptual surprise of the day. Researchers say they may have identified an object in the early universe that behaves like a black hole wrapped inside a massive star-like envelope. It is extraordinarily bright, unusually compact, and hard to fit into any familiar category, which is why the label black hole star is getting so much attention. If that interpretation holds, it could help explain how enormous black holes appeared so quickly after the Big Bang. In another cosmology update, dark photons are back in the conversation. A new theoretical result argues that earlier studies overestimated how much these hypothetical particles would heat the early universe, because they did not fully account for the behavior of primordial plasma. That does not prove dark photons exist, but it does reopen some parameter space that many researchers thought was already ruled out, giving dark matter hunters fresh ground to cover. Closer to home, space weather is picking up. A coronal mass ejection launched from the Sun on August 14 is expected to arrive near Earth late on August 17, with forecasts calling for minor to possibly moderate geomagnetic storm conditions. The likely payoff for skywatchers is aurora visibility across high latitudes, including parts of Canada, Alaska, the northern United States, and possibly Scotland. The Sun itself has been active but not extreme, so this looks more like a beautiful light show opportunity than a major disruption. On the launch front, SpaceX has added another milestone to its increasingly busy record. The company launched 2 Falcon 9 rockets only 38.5 minutes apart, one carrying Globalstar satellites from Florida and another carrying a classified U.S. Space Force payload from California. Both missions used flight-proven boosters, and both boosters stuck their landings. It is a striking example of how reusable launch operations are starting to look less like rare spectacles and more like a fast, repeatable transportation system. But not every rocket story was a success story. Blue Origin's New Glenn reportedly erupted into a fireball on the launch pad at Cape Canaveral, a serious setback for the company's heavy lift ambitions. Details are still limited, but a pad explosion points to a major issue during ground operations or an early launch sequence. It is a reminder that while some systems are reaching routine cadence, new rockets still face the hard realities of testing, integration, and risk. If you want something calmer than launch drama, tonight's sky has plenty to offer. NASA's astronomy picture of the day highlights a recent total solar eclipse view in Spain, where the sun's corona appeared unusually golden, a vivid reminder that the solar atmosphere can still surprise us. And after sunset, the crescent moon, Venus, and Spica are forming a playful smiley face pattern in the western sky. Later on, a very deep partial lunar eclipse should darken most of the full sturgeon moon, making this an excellent night to step outside and look up. One final story sits at the border of space, policy, and public curiosity. Recent Pentagon releases on unidentified anomalous phenomena are being framed as part of a broader transparency push, with NASA contributing archival material to the public record. The key point here is not that any mystery has been solved, but that more data is being organized and shared. In a field that often attracts speculation, access to documents and imagery matters. Thanks to our sponsor Gamma. Gamma lets you effortlessly use AI to design for presentations, websites, and more. Find the link in the episode notes. That is your space news snapshot for today. From possible black hole stars to aurora alerts and rocket highs and lows, space remains as dynamic as ever. Thanks for listening to the Automated Daily Space News Edition.